have to believe when you can't, when you don't see no way how. You have to buckle down and keep believing. Because I know if I quit, it cannot happen. If you stay with it, you have no idea what can happen for you.
Hey, Faithfully Focused family. Thank you again so much for joining me. If it's your first time,
make some noise!
You already know what time it is.
I love it.
Grace, joy, and peace be multiplied. Today we are here with some special guests. I'm going to go ahead and introduce.
Smack. Just Smack. Just simple.
Just
Yeah.
Smack.
No, Sean Mack, but Smack. People call me Smack. So
Okay. Y'all know him. Y'all have seen him plenty of times. But
Yep.
we have a new guest on our channel today.
Yes.
Michi.
What you say?
Michi.
Not Nietzsche.
So Michi, tell us a little bit about yourself since this is your first time on the channel.
Yes.
Who are you?
Hi.
What you do?
My name is Michi. You can follow me on Instagram at Meech_Made_It. Also follow my business page. It's an upcoming nonprofit. It's called Tap Into You. Me and my partner Mia, we created this motivational platform where we, just want to motivate our community and just put on certain events and different events to, help pour into everyone. So definitely follow.
Yeah, so when you guys get a chance, please go ahead and check out Michi's pages. Everything will be listed on the screen. If it's not listed on the screen, it will definitely be listed down below.
Yeah.
So now that we have introduced our friends to the channel, we are going to be discussing grief, overcoming grief, dealing with grief, just the different stages of grief. And as always, hopefully someone gets something out of this video. Hopefully someone is able to have a better day because of this video. Let's go ahead and get started.
What I've learned is to, one, live in gratitude. I'm trying to program my mind again. I think because we're just programmed to think of when bad things happen to us, it's happening to us and
Personally.
not for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And most of the things, like the pain that we endure, because when you look at stuff happening to you, when you're always sad about something happening to you, you're not really able to look at the lesson that you're supposed to be learning or that God is trying to teach you or show you. And so even with asking those questions, when you are upset with God, that's what I mean by him giving you the answer, because he may even show you like, well, this happened because I wanted to put you here, or this had to happen for you to be strong enough for this situation that's about to happen, or this situation that happened, or the friend that you lost. Now you know how to handle it because you know what I'm saying, you handled this a certain way.
It's so funny you say that. I'm gonna remind me that I got a story time that's not really a story time. But before I get into that, back to you.
Okay.
You never mentioned what phase of grieving that you are currently in.
For me, I think I'm in probably, I went through the understanding phase. I never really went through the emotional phase. I think mine were more internal emotions. I haven't really experienced the grief. I think mentally grief is there. It's been there. Emotionally, there's just was too many things happening back to back.
Gotcha.
So where I'm at as of right now, I think I'm settled. For me, I'm kind of in that kind of like flat period.
Okay.
Yeah, not high, not low, but just I'm there.
Okay.
Yeah.
For myself, I feel like I am in a transition when it comes to what phase I'm in. I definitely think that I'm coming out of a phase of depression. I think I suffered with that a lot last year. So going into this year, I would say that I'm finally at a phase of understanding. I'm at that phase like, all right, God, it hurt. I was sad, I was angry, I was mad, but now I understand why some things had to happen, and I'm going to piggyback off of something that you said, that certain things have to happen and you have to get a lesson out of it, right?
Yeah.
So my story time, that's not really a story time, is that I'm the oldest of 3, so I have a younger brother. He's like 8 years younger than me, and we, most people who have younger siblings, they are treated differently. We can say that they're not, but most of the time the baby is treated differently. Except for Sean, who was paying bills when he was 12.
But you're right. My older brothers and sisters felt the same way. My mom was different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would always tell my youngest brother, he gonna kill me, y'all. I would always tell him like, Dad is crippling you because he does everything for you. He doesn't, or he's not allowing you to really grow as a man. And I would tell him that all the time. And I would fuss at my dad about it. Dad, you gotta let him drown. He'll learn to swim, but he gotta drown first. And after my dad passed, my mom and we were just having a conversation like just a few days ago, and we were talking about how much he has grown and matured as a man. And part of it is because he has had to step into that man role because he knows that my dad is not there. Catch it like this is the thing. We are always going to catch him, but we're going to let him drown.
Yeah.
We're going to be like, bro, you going to have to get it together. I hope that water ain't freezing cold. Where my dad, he would just be like, nah, we got you. This not going to happen to you. And so he's really starting to walk in his manhood.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was a really, really good point of things don't always happen to you personally, but some things really and truly happen for you. Yeah. And so you really do have to look at things and take those small victories and really run with them. You know what I mean? So I thought that was all good points. And then the next question that I have for everybody is, how important do you feel like having a village was to your grieving process? How do you feel like your support system was or has to be, or the importance of a support system in general during the grieving stage?
So for me, just real quick to touch on one thing that you said that it just like it triggers something. As parents, I feel like now so many parents like, oh my God, you can't do this. Like you like no. Oh, I'm sorry. That would have been a video. Okay, make some real noise.
Oh my God.
That was a lesson. God was saying, put it back. So you know. But no, I do think that that's the problem. I feel like parenting has changed so difficult. The I'm not gonna say the government. I'm just gonna say systems have really made it difficult for parents to be parents. And then kids know that, so they are so exposed to just getting their way now. Oh, well, we can't beat our kids no more, so we can just punish you. Or I'm not gonna get you Christmas gifts, but I still got to get you some because I don't want you to feel bad.
But can we say that we are all speaking from, none of us are parents.
Right.
So this is just our point of view.
Right.
So keep that in mind that we are speaking from people that we know that have kids. All of us are around enough kids that
nieces, nephews, all that. Yeah,
we've seen it. So we're not speaking as if we don't know, or we're not privy to parents and their parenting styles. Right.
Yeah.
We just don't personally have any kids. I just wanted to put that out there because I know somebody is.
And I'm not downing parenting now because there are parents that actually still parent their kids correctly. And it's not a correct, like right way or wrong way, but I do feel like the normal kind of average parents that we have now, they're not as strict as parents were when we were growing up or before then. So a lot of people have a bigger platform where they're not exposed to going through trials, or you even see I know like growing up, my mom struggled when it came to paying things. But that made me realize, okay, I can't do that growing up. So that was a lesson that helped me in my adulthood now.
Struggle, so that's the thing. We have to learn. That's the breaking of the generational curse.
Right.
So, but you think that parenting styles now have a lot to do with people dealing with grief?
That too, yes. Because then I feel like how you may grieve or how you may accept certain negative things happening or positive things happening, that messes around with your mental stability of doing what you got to do for somebody that needs your 100%.
Gotcha. Right.
So I feel like as the kids that you're raising grow up to have kids, they're going to follow your footsteps. So eventually things are going to stop happening that helped us or help
deal with
those things. So
okay, so I'm gonna so I'm gonna throw it to you. So how do you feel like having a village helps or maybe does not help to the grieving process?
The only thing is, because now that you answered that question, it had me thinking. I know, during all of the times, I have a habit of, just in general, when I get sad or emotional, I shut down.
Girl, tell me about it. It's a cancer thing.
I shuts down. Okay, so in my mind, I don't need anybody. I'll figure it out in my mind.
I so fell asleep
I
on
promise
that.
you.
But of course, having a village and having friends and family that know this about you and also are still supportive, it definitely does help, because it just feels good to have.
Yeah.
To know that you have somebody.
Yeah, to have comfort, to have somebody checking on you to make sure you're okay, and to get those hugs. And like Hope said earlier, when somebody hugs you, you just bust out crying. It's a response. It's an actual response.
Yeah.
It's like human interaction. So of course, please don't shut down. Like me and Hope, please don't.
It's horrible.
It's so it's having a village and just having a support system during those times is very, 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 very important. Even like therapy, like I said, therapists, all of that, just a lot of support so you can get those tools and the information. Because of course, like your friends and everybody, they're going to give you that emotional support. And I guess like a therapist will give you tools. But all of it is just help to kind of bring you back up. Because it's just to build you up. So,
But one thing real quick, it's so funny. Know who's in your village and if they're supposed to be in your village.
Yes.
Because
that's hard.
Because I think everybody in a village is not necessarily meant to do everything.
Yeah, right,
and I think, on my end, where I would probably say out of all of us, I'm probably one of the strongest ones in certain aspects. Because I'm always willing to jump in and say, hey, look, whatever you can't do, let me do. So I'm a planner. Naturally, that's my thing. And I know I'm the late night person. Everybody, if something happened, call Sean. Sean gonna be the one. Right. She ain't gonna answer. She don't even answer in the daytime. But so I feel like you have to know who is in your village and their purpose. Their purpose in your life too. It is definitely important to have people there because everybody, posts everything on social media. Nothing wrong with that. But I do feel like a lot of people just got into this generic, sorry, here, this is my condolences. I'm here for you if you need it. And you're just saying it out of natural. It's just to have something because you really don't know what to say. Right. But it's very few people that will really mean it. Like, I'll come over. Hey, what do you need me to do? Do you need me to cook something? Do you need me to be there? Not even asking, how you doing? Like, sometimes you don't even have to ask the person how they're doing. It's just a look. Or it's just a, let me grab this for you so that you don't have to worry about doing it. So I do think having a village is definitely important. Having family is definitely important. But also, know your strength and know your weakness. When you're going through emotions, if you know that you're not a type of person where you plan, don't stress yourself out with trying to do it and that's not your thing. Right. Exactly. Because as soon as something go bad, you're now beating yourself up because it goes bad. Yeah. So if you know that that's a weakness of yours, get with somebody that can help you in that area.
But I think that's part, like you said, part of having a village because people are just wanting to step in and without you even having to say something. And so I would agree. I think that having a village is extremely important. As we have already discovered, cancer suck. We like suffering in silence, apparently. I talk about it all the time. We literally suffer in silence, and I speak about that all the time. It's not the best thing to do. I still do it.
It's a response.
Okay, so y'all, I have one friend in particular. She already know who she is. I cannot talk to her for like 5 days, and she'd be like, I'm showing up at your door because I know something ain't right. And I'm like, I didn't even say anything. What's happening? She's like, I know something going on. Go ahead and tell me. And I'd be like, but I don't want to. I'm at your door. What's that? I'd be like, God dang it. And so everybody just plays their part. Like I said, I say this all the time, and I will continue to say I'm so, so, so grateful and thankful for my village because if I did not have my village, I would probably be a Looney Tune. Mm-hmm. I would be a hot mess, okay? But and so take time to be grateful for the people or person that you have in your life because again, just talking about this, you never know when somebody's not going to be there. So appreciate them while you have the opportunity to appreciate them. But now that we have discovered that having a village is really important, I wanted to turn it over to you guys. Do you have any thoughts and feelings about grief that we have not already touched on? Sean, I'll start with you.
All right, so for me, I'll probably say just appreciating people. Just to kind of during the time that like every year I always have like a holiday party, and in 2019, of course, when Hope experienced what she experienced, I experienced what I experienced. I never wanted to let that holiday party stop because I feel like people look forward to it, they appreciate it. So what I decided to do was turn the holiday event to more of a celebration of life and friendship. And for me, it was something so small. I put together like a small little Word document yearbook, and I got every picture from everybody, and I put a comment section in there, and basically each person got one. And what they did was, during the course of the event, everybody went around and wrote comments about each person. Whether it be, hey, I appreciate you just for you, you've always helped me, I love you. And still to this day, so many people actually talk about that, like, that really touched me, like wow, I didn't know a person thought that much about me or something. So I really say that this is something small that I think anybody can do. Not saying you got to do it on a holiday, but I think it would be cute as an idea to kind of do just as a Sunday dinner, or just to get everybody involved with each other, and kind of do it as a small token that people can take with them and be able to look back on. Because you never know when a person is going through that emotional time that they may grab that book and be like, oh wow, I really do have people that are thinking of me. I really do have people that see me for me. So I think that's something, just a small thing that you could be able to do.
So your tip is to have gatherings.
Have gatherings, but give the gatherings, and give the gatherings a theme.
Tracy, what would your one tip for someone dealing with grief? What would your tip be?
One tip for dealing with grief is to not shut down, like we all do, and just know that you do have a support system, and create a support system. Definitely talk to people, therapists, talk to your friends, like talk it out, and because speaking, just talking to someone, talking it out, it just helps get the words out of how you're actually feeling. It helps kind of a little bit with the emotion, I would say. And just to piggyback too on what Sean said about just appreciating, because it may soften the blow. Just appreciating your, giving your friends and your family the flowers while they're still here, and appreciating them while they're still here. And again, they don't have to be anything monetary. You don't have to, throw money at them just when it's their birthday or whatever, but just simply send a text like, I love you, I appreciate you. When it comes to your friends, because it's so many of us starting businesses and things like that, supporting your village, supporting your friends, and letting them know. And again, you don't have to put thousands of dollars or even anything if you don't have it into their business, but just showing support, reposting, and just being there is important, and staying present.
Yeah.
And speaking of support, if you like faith-based content, please don't forget to join our village by commenting, and subscribing down below. We are looking to continue to grow our village and help people everywhere as much as we can, as often as we can. So don't forget to comment, subscribe, and share this video. As far as my tip, mine would be to
She said, I'm getting myself getting her moment, okay?
Minutes of shine, okay? Come on, Summer.
She was twerking for Jesus, okay?
So this is Summer. My one tip would be to, like Michi mentioned, do not shut down. A lot of us tend to suffer in silence because we think, oh, we can handle it, we can get over it ourselves, but that's probably not the best thing. So my first tip would be not to shut down. Really fight through that mindset, fight through that emotion, fight through that natural reaction to want to shut down. And my second tip for someone who's dealing with grief would be to don't allow that grief to cripple you. She's so rude, y'all. She is so disrespectful. But do not allow your grief to cripple you. I have a tendency when I am dealing with things, especially emotions, and really bad and difficult feelings, I have a tendency to allow that to just stop me dead in my tracks. And it affects my job performance. It has affected relationships. It has affected friendships. And again, that's because I shut down and I allow myself to really not want to be fully present and show up. So my tip would be to fight through that natural emotion of wanting to shut down and really just allow yourself to, or be understanding and give yourself some grace when it comes to feeling those emotions. But whatever you do, do not allow that to cripple you and hinder you from continuing to move forward and live your life.
I agree. And I have one more tip.
Yes.
I think this is the most important tip
Yes.
we can all agree on. Pray.
Yes.
Pray about it. Pray
Damn.
about it. Pray about it. I think, again, just to pinpoint, a lot of us, or just people in general, like we do tend to pray when we want something, when we're asking God for something, or when something's going good in our life. We're like, thank you, thank you. What I've learned on this journey is to talk with God even during your toughest times.
Yes.
Like, that is not the time to shut down. That is not the time to go down a deep spiral or to go into a depression or into an anxiety. You can ask God or tell God that you're angry. Tell him that you're upset with him so you can get understanding, so you can understand, why is this happening to me? And you can get out of that instead of sitting in the pain.
Yes.
Start to seek understanding.
Yeah.
It starts with God and praying and being grounded in that, and then I think everything else just falls into place because he's going to give you the peace. He's going to make sure that you're comforted. Comforted, right? But yeah, I definitely pray about it.
That probably is, I would agree with you,
Yes.
probably the most important thing to do.
Definitely pray. I'm going to kind of flip this around a little bit. Not about grief per se, but for the person that is supporting somebody that is going through grief or that has a business or something. I'm going to kind of tie it all together because I know you mentioned about supporting them, supporting us that has businesses and stuff like that. For you that is the support system, one thing I have learned, and I know Hope has been very awesome with helping me through this process, is knowing when to make comments and when not. Just because a person is grieving and going through something does not mean, and if they're talking to you and they're expressing their concerns or their feelings, does not mean that you have to have an answer to what they're saying or have opinions of what they're saying. And the vice versa, flip it back on, a business. If a person's telling you about their business, does not mean that you got to take that time, I don't think that's a good idea.
Right.
Or you shouldn't do this. Sometimes being a part of a person's village is just that, being a part of it. Listening and just being a wall that they can bounce ping pong balls off. That's a lesson that I've had to learn, just growing up because I'm very opinionated, excuse me. See, look at that. I make my own words. But I'm very opinionated when it comes to a lot of different topics. So know your role and know your place. And when's the perfect time to give it versus when the time to just swallow it up and just, hey, you got to go through whatever you're going through, but just know I'm here.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think this was an amazing conversation. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Y'all already know that's it, and that's all, folks. We will see y'all in the next video. And remember to be you. That is your superpower.
That's your superpower.
Up and it's up and it's up and it's up.